I'm recording a one-size-fits-all legal disclaimer for the beginning of every episode that I upload. The views and the opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any agency, organization, employer, or company that they are affiliated with. Examples of analysis performed within this podcast are only anecdotal examples. They should not be utilized in any real world analytics as they are based on anecdotal information. That is all. My name is Robert Cross. This is Cross Theory, the podcast where we look at this book, The Dictionary of Theories, and each podcast is a different theory. I'm joined by a friend today named Theodore. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Theodore or Theo Niekras, and
Do you go by
I'm
Teddy at
here.
all?
If my friends from high school and people from there call me Teddy, if you call me Teddy, that means I can borrow money.
You can borrow money for yeah.
Yeah, like that.
All
That
right.
means I've endeared myself to you, and I'm like, oh, okay, like
Yeah. Yeah. But Theodore is is it Theo or Theodore or what do you prefer?
mostly Theo.
Theo? Theo's the one you prefer the most. Okay. All right.
Yeah, man,
So yeah, what's your last name too?
Niekras.
So it's close to Cross a little bit, huh?
Yeah, dude, we got
Yeah.
Cross and Niekras. Sounds
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
bad band.
Yeah. What part of the world is that from?
Actually from Poland. I think it
Okay.
was short for like Niekraszewicz or something. My dad told me at one time, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I know that there was like what's it called? Kraus. I had some relatives named Kraus, and it like,
Mm,
it kind of merged into Cross, which cross just means that you lived on a crossroads at one point. That's what that last
yeah.
name is signifies. But yeah, so uh in introducing yourself, you told me your name. What do you what are you into right now? Currently, like what? Like to introduce yourself to the audience. What are you known for, I guess? Or, what have you? What have you done with your life? What have you done with your life, Theo?
I have tried to find meaning in this crazy world, but yeah, I taught English like you at SDSU at the
Nice.
rhetoric department. I got my MFA there. That's how we met.
That's how
But,
we met. Yeah.
I was a yacht captain and a sailor
Nice.
for a bunch of years here. I've sailed from Japan to Alaska when I was 24 after living in Bali. Like I just kind
Sick.
of I chased a lot of experience, and it was mostly just both to like find myself and a lot of times never doing that and then
Yeah.
going, okay, next thing. But I know now it was also a point of escape from normalcy and escape from myself sometimes,
Yeah.
like
No, no, no. I get it. I get it. That's awesome. Yeah. So we know Theo now. Again, I'm Robert Cross. I've known Theo for a while. Yes, I have an MFA in creative writing. I have a master's in education too. I'm working on my doctorate at the moment. I'm a teacher. I'm a podcaster now, it seems. I'm all kinds of things. Musician, a stepfather. I'm all kinds of stuff.
heck
Um,
yeah.
yeah, right. All right. So the theory that we're going to talk about today, I'm just going to read what I texted Theo because it's basically what I took from the book says it's called the ABC conjecture of mathematics. It's the theory, ABC conjecture theory of mathematics. And I'm not going to explain what it actually is because what it actually is, I don't understand. And I don't know if Theo's into math at all, but I I am definitely not into math in the slightest. But what I texted Theo was the ABC conjecture theory in mathematics is essentially the idea that we often think of systems as independent, like work life, home life, economics versus environment, things like that. So it suggests that even the most basic, seemingly separate building blocks of our reality are secretly entangled. You cannot tweak one without constraining the other. It is the ultimate proof that everything is connected. So, when you hear that from me, Theo, what are the first things that just bubble up in your head?
Buddhism and Christianity.
Like how they're connected?
Well, how they're connected, but how they both speak of an interconnectedness
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a
No,
lot
that's
of
true.
regards.
I thought you were going to talk about how have you ever seen The Man from Earth, that movie?
Oh God, I want to say yes, but I actually don't remember.
So The Man from Earth was a movie that was made. I want to again. I don't know the exact year. I want to say it was like late '90s, early 2000s, and it was basically like a stage play that was condensed into a film. And it starred the guy. I don't know whether you remember the movie Candyman. You remember the original one? Tony
Yeah,
Todd. Yeah, Tony Todd played the Candyman, and he's in it. And he plays a guy that's in there, but he's not the main character. The main character is this guy who he basically can't die. Like he was born a caveman and his cells regenerate so much that he can't die. And in it, he talks about how like he was the person that they based Jesus on, and then he was the one that they based Buddha on because he went and he traveled to India after they killed him in Rome or before Rome, whatever it was, or before Jerusalem or whatever. And yeah, so I thought you were going to say like the connectedness of like Jesus showing up to the Buddha or whatever, because apparently there's some people that believe that actually happened where Buddha and Jesus like talked to each other at one point, or that Jesus went to Buddha or something like that. I don't know. Again, I
well,
don't.
okay,
Yeah,
so Buddha was 500 years before Christ,
yeah,
so
before Christ. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I guess
that's pretty
Buddha.
much
Yeah, yeah,
impossible, but
yeah,
like
yeah,
unless but like there is the lost years of Jesus, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. Yeah.
before he came back to
But
minister, and
Is
those
Buddha a being like Jesus where he like is forever? Like is he around right now, or is he just somebody that we or that people, you know, he's not like Jesus where he can be reincarnated or any of that stuff like that?
it depends on what sect you're in. Like with our like I go to Dharma Bum Temple
Okay.
and a church.
Yeah, yeah, you got to both. Yeah.
Um, but Dharma Bum Temple is God, I think it's Soto Zen, but not it's non-denominational. But
Mhm.
like in every meditation, they say the Buddha is not a god. The Buddha was just a man who sat under a tree and discovered the root of suffering.
Got it.
Like most, like most outsiders would consider Buddhism a religion. A lot of Buddhists don't actually consider it a religion. They consider it a philosophy.
Got it.
It depends on what type. Like I feel like Tibetan Buddhism is mystical, religious, like,
Yeah.
gods, the X levels of hell.
Hmm.
Zen, which came from China, was originally Shan Buddhism. Like that's more like sitting and monitoring your thoughts and different ways to meditate for what they consider enlightenment. And Buddha came back, and they say he died.
Yeah.
He's not coming back. So
Yeah.
it's not the same as.
It's not the same as Jesus. Okay, because I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing about Buddhism. I studied it a little bit when I was doing humanities in college, but it kind of went in one ear and out the other. And then I hung out with some Hare Krishna people at one point. I don't know how connected that is with Buddhism,
I
but
mean, it's within the same region, but it's
it's in
completely
yeah,
different.
it's a completely different thing. So how did you get involved in that initially? Did you like was your family into Buddhism, or did you just like gravitate towards it at a certain point in your
No,
life?
actually, I ran away from Christianity when I was
Okay.
younger,
All right.
like a lot of people, and I found out about Buddhism in like a social studies class, and I did
Oh,
martial arts and was meditating, and then like, I was like a teenager, right?
yeah.
And so I liked Buddhist iconography just
Uh-huh.
like I liked Chinese iconography, but I
Yeah.
didn't really get into it
Hmm.
until maybe college. I started reading about Zen and, a lot of different things. I mean, I did read like Zen and the Art of
The
Motorcycle
motorcycle
Maintenance
boy.
in
Yeah,
high
yeah, yeah.
school.
I've heard of it. I've never read it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember this girl making fun of me because in chemistry I was reading like a book on Zen, but like
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand a lot of it. Uh,
Yeah. And I bet that girl now is probably a yoga teacher. No, no, I'm just kidding.
maybe,
Yeah, I know, I know. I have no clue. Yeah.
who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny. But
And it wasn't,
yeah. No,
but
what about Christianity pushed you away from it? Like what about it was the thing that you were like, fuck this, I'm moving on to Buddhism.
just the judgment, man. Like
Yeah,
so many people, it's judge not yet lest ye be judged, and yet everybody fucking judges
that's
hard.
true. That's a
And
true story. Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of that's reading the doctrine in the Bible. Like for me, I see like Jesus's words, and then after there's Paul and all the
yeah,
epistles, and it just gets like more and more into this like you know club again
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and protectionist, and I'm not sure where I sit in all that, because like for
Mhm.
me, like it was like, wait, he's telling you guys not to judge, and yet you're saying
Judging
protect
anyway.
yourselves,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
judge, all this
Uh-huh.
stuff.
Yeah,
And I think that's like a really deep issue, is that like
yeah,
you got to kind of figure that out for yourself, but there's all these different doctrines. I mean, I just went to go check out a Orthodox church today just to do it, and
yeah,
that's one of it's uh, Saint Anthony, like Antiochian Orthodox, which is
yeah.
one of the oldest churches in the world.
Got it.
And just seeing like the doctrine there versus the Protestant doctrine and all this
Mhm.
stuff, it's
Yeah,
very similar to the way like you could find Tibetan Buddhism, Zen
yeah.
Buddhism,
Well, yeah,
Theravada.
every religion is broken up into sects for some odd reason. I mean, most of it, I guess, has to do with like there's people that break away from the like Martin Luther breaking away from what he broke away from, and then Catholicism breaking away from whatever, and then it's just yeah, and it just like weaves into these like webs of things. Um, and it's interesting to me that those things all kind of like the original religion. I guess when I was doing the humanities stuff was all like animism and stuff, like praising the sun and doing shit like that, which you can kind of, I guess, do like an overlay of like religions with animism and still see that they have they have similar leanings to what it was back then. I try not to get too deep into religion. I mean, I'm not the last podcast I did, the last episode, we talked about it a little bit just because he was atheist, and I asked him. Well, I told him that I was agnostic. So my main thing is that I know I don't know. That's my main thing. So, and
Yeah.
he kind of joked and said, "Oh, so you're atheist?" And it's like, I mean, yeah, in a way, I guess I am to a point, but like, I'm what I, my biggest worry is that what if I'm wrong? You know what I mean? Like, what if me not believing in God causes my demise in the afterlife? But also, if I'm wrong and the God is like the pure loving God that like some Christians believe he is, and he's like, you know what? It's all good that you didn't believe in me. You did good in your life. I'm gonna let you into heaven anyway. Kind of thing. I'd like to be wrong, that way, and not wrong the way of like, oh, you're going to hell. So yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah,
I don't either. And the more I've gone to like whatever we're calling it, like, can you hear me, by the
yeah,
way?
I can hear you perfect. Yeah, I can hear you
All
perfectly
right.
fine.
There was
Mm-hmm.
some static that kind of went
It
through.
was,
I
yeah,
just, dude, it's taking yourself out of your head and going to your heart and
yeah,
listening to your heart.
hmm
And when my heart tells me there's danger, it's usually around like prescriptive thinking and
yeah,
judging others people
yeah,
and like very, very tightly like controlled dogma. When my
yeah,
heart feels open, it's open. It's like,
yeah,
I think a lot of religions and spiritualities have the same message, which is we're
hmm
all interconnected,
yeah,
right? Which is what this is all about, right?
yeah.
Well,
That's right.
as far as, I mean, I looked up the ABC conjecture and I could not
Yeah,
see any of this in
yeah,
it. Like, I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what
Well,
is he
like I said,
talking about?
I looked at the like. I mean, again, I'm not going to read the actual thing in the book because the thing in the book has like equations and shit. But like
Yeah.
looking at it and kind of taking pieces out of it myself and putting them together, I kind of and then kind of Wikipediaing it too. I decided I was like, you know what, I'm just going to write my own kind of definition of what it is, and then I got that, which is like it's the mathematical proof that everything's connected, and that if because it has to do with multiplication and addition, and how you can't change one without constraining the other. And that's what the mathematical portion of it is about. And again, there's like equation, and it's never been solved even to this day. I looked it up. It's still
No,
this.
there's one Japanese guy that like claimed
Well,
it,
he
and
claims he
then,
did, but nobody can understand what he wrote.
but
That's the
it's
thing. Yeah.
also there's it has a very big correlation to what was it? Another big conjecture that hasn't really been solved. I forget
Well,
who's
don't bring that one up because it might be in this book. I haven't gotten through all these
okay,
theories yet.
but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it's like, yeah, a squared plus b squared equals c
Equals
squared,
that's the yeah Pythagorean
but it's
theorem.
actually talking about the roots and how you break them down, and then how if you take like I guess 64, which would
Yeah.
be what, 8 squared?
Eight,
I don't remember.
is that what that is? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Again, I'm
8
not a
times
math
8.
guy. Yeah, eight
Yeah,
times eight.
and
Yeah, sure.
then,
Yeah, yeah,
so 8 squared, and then you do that. Like sometimes there are finite possibilities where sometimes like that
yeah.
number is less than.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to understand it, and I'm not a math guy either. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, but I didn't get the whole interconnected thing like
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all. So
yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, just from what I read in there and then on Wikipedia and then wherever else, I thought, how am I supposed? Because part of my thing is I'm trying to connect these math, and then I did accounting the first episode, trying to connect these theories in all these different places that aren't philosophical or psychological, which those will be easy to talk about. But
yeah.
the ones that do with accounting or math or whatever else, I don't know about those things, so I'm trying to connect them to like the real world and kind of make them philosophical and
Yeah, no,
psychological and
I
whatever.
got you, dude.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to. I don't know how well
We're
I'm
just
doing.
we're
And I'm
just
sure
here to
though
riff.
no, we are, but it's like I know that somebody who's a I know who's somebody I have my all my guitars right. I have a 9 string guitar right here. Look at this. 9 strings. Look
Noise.
at this thing.
I don't know how to
It's good.
play with
Yeah.
9 fingers.
Yeah, no, it's 9 strings. You can still play with five, but
No,
no,
I'm
or
joking.
four. Yeah, yeah. No, but I know there's somebody that's going to come on to the or like see my podcast or search up ABC conjecture, and then they're going to get this podcast, and they're going to like click on it, thinking that we're going to talk about math the whole time or something, and we're
And
not.
we're not.
We're
And we're
not. We're
telling you
talking.
right
Yeah,
now so
yeah.
you don't waste your time.
That's right. The most math we did was that 8 times 8 shit that you did a second ago. That again, I'm still
What?
confused by because I'm not a math guy, and I don't teach math, and I would never. Um, I think I subbed one time in a elementary school, and or I'm not going to say I'm completely devoid of number knowing or whatever because obviously I play music, right? And music has numbers in it and shit like
Yeah.
beats 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. You do all that stuff. But as far as like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, factors, all that crap, like I have you you're it's speaking ancient Arabic, which is funny because the numbers are Arabic numbers. So I could
Yep.
say that, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're not talking about math that much in this podcast, I guess. We're talking about life and things. And so I guess is a good segue into some of the things we talked about, I guess, before we started ruminating on this podcast, which is life, anxiety, travels, pathways,
I guess
and
so.
into new careers,
Yeah.
things like that. So I'm a teacher now, right? And I'm not going to say it's not a difficult profession because it is. And you want to become a K through 12 teacher, you told me
Well,
something.
I'm thinking about it. I am
You're
in this
thinking about it.
state where like I don't know what to do, dude.
Yeah,
Like, and it's actually that's where my anxiety is coming from. Is
yeah,
like, like part of the like the way I've lived life is to try stuff. If it sticks, I stick with it till it doesn't. And I
yeah.
have these weird like mental breakdowns when it stops sticking, and I'm trying to end that. And I'm in the worst mental breakdown of my life trying to end that. And it's hilarious to me, but
Do
we're
you do
riding
you,
it out.
so do you think that do you still own any boats or do anything like that? Like with that,
Just sold one.
you just sold a boat. Okay, but is that your only
Yeah.
boat that you sold, or do you have another one that you own?
No, I had to donate that during
You do.
2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Um, so you don't think you'll ever go back to doing anything like that?
Dude, I don't know. Like
You don't know.
I
Yeah, yeah.
it's, a lot of my life has been recursive. Like I was on boats for a while,
Hmm.
you know, and then I left to go try other stuff, and then I'm back to boats,
Yeah.
and then something else goes wrong, and I leave to go to writing school, and then,
That's yeah. Where we met. Yeah.
I'm getting the MFA, and then I'm
Yeah.
teaching rhetoric, but we know that teaching at that university as an adjunct is
No, yeah, it's
horrible.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have
And
people that are still doing it to this day that I don't know how they do it and how much how because I know that you get paid per class that you teach, and
yeah,
unless you're teaching like 50 classes a week, I don't know how you're making enough money to survive.
I,
Like yeah.
no, and I looked at that, and also their like stupid administration stuff, and I
Yeah,
said
it's
this,
yeah, yeah. I've
and
got no
so I went,
problem. Yeah, I've got no problem throwing like I've said in a couple I think a couple episodes ago, I have no problem throwing administration, especially at university levels, under the bus for some of the things they do because they could be very, very backstabby, those people, because they're all trying to get to the top. They're all trying to become the chair or the department president or the whatever, and they don't give a fuck about who they they're very cutthroat, and I don't know if that's really how an educational institution should be. I think that if you have people in there that actually want to teach, like me and you, I know that me and you both like, you like teaching, right? You enjoyed it when you did it, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and so
yeah,
did so did I enjoyed teaching at SDSU. When you have people that actually enjoy doing the work, you should just be like, hey, let's like not mold them, but let's like make sure that they get like, higher in the bracket of like teaching, and unless I mean, I've never wanted to be administration at all. Right. Have you ever thought that in your mind that you'd want to be any kind of administrator at a school?
I mean, it's light, dude, but like I don't even know what it is to be a teacher at a school,
Yeah.
actually, right?
Yeah.
Like, but at the end of the day, like, yes, it's backstabby, and yes,
Mhm.
like every school I know now is administration top heavy. They
They did all
spend
that. Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
they run
Yeah.
it like businesses,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I mean, teachers in this country, let's be honest, they never were paid well to begin with.
No, they
Like
weren't. No, they weren't.
Henry
No.
Henry David Thoreau was a teacher, and he
Yeah. Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not doing well either.
No,
Like,
no, no.
mm,
Now, is he the one? Now, I always get him and what's his face confused. The other one, the Walden Pond,
Emerson.
Emerson. I always get him and
No,
Emerson.
Henry David Thoreau wrote Walden.
Walden Pond.
Yes.
Okay, and then the Emerson was the other guy. So I always get those two confused for some reason. But they both lived outdoors, right? Wasn't that like their thing, or was one of them?
Well, I
Which one
mean,
of them lived outdoors?
outdoors is iffy. I mean, he kind of built a cabin on
Yeah, that's
Walden.
what I.
That's
Well, but I'm saying like they made so little money that they had to live in like squalor, most of their life, kind of thing. Which like, yeah, I don't know. Neither one of them had mansions, is what I'm trying to say. Like,
No, not at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they actually had a really good community, but like a lot of times they were under the care of like an aunt
yeah,
or
yeah. A
a lot of
patron. Yeah,
patronage. But
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
I think that was way, way more common too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. For artists, at least. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah,
for artists, teachers, but almost
yeah,
everybody, like from what I've read, like, like we apply our rules to back then.
yeah. I know.
And,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we're talking about like this is why families stuck together is because like one person in the family hopefully got enough money to
yeah.
like
Take care of
have a
everybody else.
house
Yeah,
and take, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it wasn't like it is now. It's not
yeah.
everybody's alone and segregated, and
Yeah.
a lot of communities were way more interconnected back
That's
then,
true. That's true. And now, did you grow up in San Diego?
No, I grew up in New York,
You grew up in New York. What part of New York did you grow up in?
Syracuse.
Syracuse. Okay, I've never been out there except for I went to New York City when I was a kid. Obviously,
uh,
everybody goes out there and sees the statue with the torch and all that shit. But I did get to go into the World Trade Center though when I was before it fell. Um, and that was interesting. But what do you find the difference between people in New York and people in California? What's the difference between those two, the East Coast and the West Coast?
got a great joke for you then.
Okay, go ahead, give it to me.
Not really, but like,
All right.
so I was talking with a buddy yesterday, going to a meeting with him later, and we're talking about how San Diegans, especially people from San Diego,
Yeah.
a lot of them are just flakes, dude. They
Yeah.
don't show up. They don't mean what they say a lot of the times.
Hmm.
Oh, we should hang out. Like, let's
And then
get,
you
and
never
then
hear
they
from them again. Yeah.
never, right? Like, and so I always would joke that New Yorkers are kind but not nice, and like a lot of Californians are nice but not kind.
Yeah, got it.
And
So it's like
kind
yeah, it's like the reverse. Yeah,
kindness is not niceness. Like
yeah,
nice is
yeah,
like, oh, I'm so sorry. Kindness is more like action, empathy. What can I
yeah,
do for you? And it's just funny. Like I took an ex to New York
uh-huh.
City,
Yeah,
and getting off like I was telling her, like, yo, you're gonna think everybody's mean, but they're actually really kind. They're just not nice. Like
yeah.
everybody in California pretends that
That
they
they're
care.
that.
They
Yeah, yeah,
they don't. Like a lot of them don't.
yeah,
Now I've met great people that do, but like the majority I've
yeah,
noticed, there's just an aloofness, I guess,
yeah.
that
Hmm.
but like we live in a different economic environment, different,
Yeah,
like I'm not, it's just what I notice, right? I'm from New York.
yeah,
It's less direct, it's more passive, it doesn't like confrontation as much.
yeah,
And I've gotten used to it, but it was definitely hard to see that like people don't mean what they say when they say they want to meet up. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, um, and then we get off the plane and it's at JFK, and there's like something wrong with the JFK underground train, the
Yeah,
metro
yeah.
going into the city. So we have to like do a detour, and we're looking for where to get out to get the bus. And this guy on the loudspeaker's like, "Hey, you idiots!" And we're like, "Us?" And he's like, "Yeah, you too. The bus is up there. You got to go up there and take a left. Have a happy holiday." And I was like, see, that was kind.
Yeah,
Nobody in
yeah.
California would help you.
No, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
not nobody,
yeah,
but nobody would stop and
yeah,
say, "Hey, you got to go somewhere." Like, I never
yeah.
get
Or
that.
they'd
People just like,
yeah, or they'd pull their phone out and they'd be like, "Look at these fucking idiots," and they'd put it on
yeah.
Instagram tomorrow.
And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, but that's not nice. Like, that was not nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was perfect. And we just
yeah,
started
yeah, yeah.
dying.
That's
And
hilarious.
the entire
Yeah,
trip was like that. It was really
yeah, yeah.
funny. And I'm like, see another one,
That's right.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, I'm from. I mean, I've spent. I'd say. I mean, I've spent most of my life in Southern California. You know, I was born in L.A., grew up in Hollywood, and then now I'm here in San Diego. And yeah, I mean, like most of my life, I guess I've dealt with the people around me, and I've kind of gotten used to the whole like, yeah, I'll see you around, and then I never see them again kind of thing.
yep.
Um, Especially like I mean in college it was even obviously it was even worse. Some of those people I still haven't seen. Me and you have only seen each other now after like how many years has it been? I mean like yeah, it's been a while. And but it's not because I mean obviously it's not because I don't want to see you or whatever. It's because like I'm busy as shit with everything else. And you're busy too. It's like
Well,
I
and
we talked about you cooking for me because I know you're a good cook too. And I was always like, man, I would love to go get fucking have Theo cook me something, or whatever. But then I'm like, I got my life going on and shit. I can't, whatever. And then even this, I mean, like I'm zooming you right now. It's not like I'm like actually with you or anything. But yeah, it's just that like people's lives get in the way and shit like that, especially in California where you make no money. Not that like New Yorkers are, rolling in dough or anything either. It's kind of, a similar, I guess, economic demographic over there. And everybody's complaining about what's his face, the new mayor. What's his name? The Morani or whatever. The one guy. I
oh,
don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I actually have a lot of friends that are excited about him. I haven't heard
yeah. I don't know.
everybody's
I don't know.
complaint.
I honestly don't know shit about him, but I know people are pissed off about it. I don't know about like the good parts about the guy. They all think like Shira law is going to happen there or whatever. But I mean, people get all up in arms about everything these days.
They're
So
pissed off about Shira Law, then I'm not sure I want to know what TV show they're watching.
yeah, that's
You know,
right. Starts with an
like,
F, ends with ox, I'm sure.
yeah,
But
I mean, come on, people, like,
no,
give
I
me a
know.
break.
No, I know.
And yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah. No, and I always it's always funny to me. I think about again, I don't mean to get political because I don't like politics at all, but um But I am going to talk about it on this podcast, I'm sure, with people. So I might as well just get used to talking about it, I guess, a little bit. But it's funny that people get weird and upset about stuff like that. But then when there's a whole agency that's going around ripping babies from their mothers and taking them back to Mexico or whatever, they don't care about that at all. So I think that that's funny. It's like one thing's okay and the other one isn't, kind of thing. And it becomes like, I don't know. There's a lot of irony, I guess, in politics and in the world and whatever. And
Well, I mean, we are not consistent in our
no,
ideologies.
no, no, no. Nobody is.
Nobody
Nobody
is.
is. Nobody
And
is. Not even me. I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm gonna. Again, I'm going to, throw myself under the bus and say that like I haven't been consistent in my opinions or my views or whatever most of my life. But that's because and I guess we could talk about that too and kind of segue into this, which is like my parents died when I was a kid, when I was young, right? I've said this in both of my other episodes, and I didn't really have people to like guide me, I guess. And I try to ask each guest, and I want to ask you, are you did you have people guiding you when you were younger, like parents or grandparent or anything like that?
God, this hurts.
Yeah.
No, we talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of, but no.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. I feel like my dad and mom tried, but like I didn't I didn't have many mentors. The home environment was rough.
Yeah.
Like I remembered like a lot of trauma that I didn't remember, like
Yeah.
very deep trauma.
Hmm.
And it just got worse the older I got. And I was the black sheep, I was the rebel.
Hmm.
I tried like, escaping that part of feeling lonely, unloved, abandoned, even though I had parents, which a lot of children do.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But I did it by like saying, no, I'm not going to like adhere to your system. And yeah, that's all said and done. But now I'm a 42-year-old wishing I had way more guidance. Like
Yeah.
nobody, like they didn't teach me how to budget, dude. Like my dad
No.
didn't budget, or he
Yeah.
did, but he overspent so much. Like, and the funny thing is my brother seems to have a lot more of that, but he also wasn't, it's a different dynamic, different
Yeah.
relationship. He had a gymnastics coach that was very
Mhm.
close to him. And I did have karate, so
Yeah. You did that. Okay.
I did have that. That was the longest thing I've done.
Yeah.
That was 18 years or
Oh wow.
something.
Okay.
And
So
so I got my
you're a black belt or anything like that, or what?
secondary black belt,
Oh no
yeah.
shit. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that about you. That's cool.
And
Oh.
so like I did have mentors there, but like I feel like the mentors I needed did not exist. And I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of men, especially
Yeah.
that feel that,
Oh
Robert.
yeah.
It's not just you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I realized like I had a huge rift with my father after I left West Point and many rifts before that, but like for a while I was his like buddy slash
Yeah.
hero because I got into West Point and that's what he wanted
Yeah.
for me. And
No,
then
when you no, wait, let's stop there for a second. You went to West Point. Again, another thing I didn't know about you. Now,
yeah,
what was West Point like? Because a lot of people have like an idea of West Point, and they have this, especially people that aren't in the military. They like me, right? I never have been in the military. They have this idea of like West Point being like the best of the best, cream of the crop. Soldiers go there, and are trained there, and then get out, and become like SEALs and politicians and all kinds of other shit. So
they do.
what was it like though? Like what was the training like?
It's a giant indoctrination machine, bro.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Mm. I mean, like I learned a lot about what I can take and what I can't take. I did very well there
Yeah.
for a cadet, especially cadet like me who shouldn't have been there really.
Yeah.
I was there, so I should have been there, but like really, like
Yeah.
the place, I rode the wave. I did well. I did better in the field than what they call in garrison, but like I did good academically. I had
Mhm.
like a 3.2 average, which is fine for me. I wasn't looking for 4.0s, and you're taking like 22 credit hours, like way more than most
Yeah.
colleges, because you got like military science. Like your day is packed.
Yeah.
And as a plebe, you're getting yelled at. I got lucky because I walked onto the diving team, which gave me a little bit of space. Because if you're on
Okay.
a sports team, you get some space, you get a
Yeah.
camaraderie. But like it's good and bad, dude. Like I learned a lot about how much stress I can take, but right now in therapy, we
Yeah.
are actively talking about how that place gave me PTSD
Got it.
and set me up to burn my body out for approval for the next 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Because you're like chasing that. Is it you're chasing that dragon basically of like the the regimen, right? Like what you went through there. You're chasing that dragon of like, I need to have my life kind of. Do you think that it turned you into somebody that needed your life kind of planned out for you day by day, without
yeah,
you having to think about it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And also like this giant like need for approval and honor and like validation from other people. And
Got
I
it.
know I had that my entire life, but like this went, this turned it into like, oh, I can be the hero. I am capable of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all archetypal bullshit,
Yeah,
dude.
it is.
Like,
It is. Yeah, yeah. Very
and
yeah, Jungian. Yeah.
yeah. And so and not always, dude, like after West Point, I was so depressed. I flipped a car on the Palisades Parkway, like
Yeah.
blowing post, going AWOL
Wow.
before I left. Was intoxicated,
Hmm.
like, and this had been after a year of like pretty bad suicidal ideation and
Yeah.
going through a lot of stuff. An officer basically decided that he wanted to get me kicked out, and he kept like pushing for it in a way
Hmm.
that was shady sometimes,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also knew that if I left, I was going to lose the approval of my father. It was very clear, and I did. So like when all
Yeah.
that happened, my friends come pick me up from West Point with like a 12 pack of beer in the truck. I also started
Yeah.
drinking heavily
Uh-huh.
to deal with all this,
Yeah.
dude. And like it spiraled, and for 2 years, dude, I was kind of like this alcoholic that was like, I'm a rebel, I don't care about anything, until I got my first DUI.
Yeah.
Like,
And how many did now again, when you got your first DUI, did you think in your head like I'm never going to do that again, or did that lead to like doing more shit that was detrimental to you, kind of like were you self-harming because of that?
I I was trying to escape life from that point on.
Yeah. 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 And a lot of addicts
Oh,
do. Again, when you're in active addiction, which I've been in before, you've been in, it's
yeah.
that's your whole life is revolves around what can I do to fuck up things even worse than they already are, you know
But
what
you're
I
not
mean? Like,
like you're not
you're not doing it
thinking
on
about
purpose.
that.
Yeah, you're not doing it on purpose, but like your
You're
brain goes into
just
like auto mode.
No, because you're trying to A, have fun, and B, escape the
Yeah.
pain somehow. And alcohol just turns into that thing,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And,
And you're a different
you know,
person when you're on booze than you are when you're sober. When you're sober,
oh,
you're
dude,
completely different.
I am learning that right now,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I'm on year 6.5 of sobriety,
Okay.
and for the first few years I was riding the pink cloud and
Yeah,
all this stuff. And now I realize like there is a pit,
yeah,
an incredibly deep and dark pit, and I don't know who I am.
yeah,
And I use alcohol for everything.
yeah,
And so like that coupled with a pretty narcissistic, abusive father who like wore West Point gear till the day he died,
really, wow.
like pretending that he went to West Point kind
Yeah,
of.
never did. Yeah,
I did, right?
yeah,
And I
you did. Yeah,
left.
yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
graduated from UNC, but this guy like couldn't take that. He was living vicariously through his kids. Like
Yeah. Mhm.
he kicked me out of the house after.
West
And like
Point. Yeah,
that's the mind F, is that they, like, a lot of these people did not recognize that there was somebody deeply in pain right in front of them, and
yeah,
instead like chose punishment over like, you need deep help.
yeah,
Like you, and this was at West Point too. Like none
yeah,
of them,
yeah. Of
you
course they
know,
would. Well, they don't want that. They don't want you to
no.
have help. They want you to be as fucking they want you to be, I'm not going to say they want you to be violent, but they want you to be able to like go into those places in your mind that you could only go into when you're fucked up. Like that, you know what I mean? Because if they have somebody
Yeah.
that's happily mentally stable out on the battlefield, you think they're going to do it? You know what I mean? They're not going to kill kids. They're not going to do any of that. They're going to be like,
No.
I need to not do that. You know what I mean?
And that's
Like,
why I was calling it an indoctrination
yeah,
machine. It's
no, I
like
get
you
it. Yeah,
and I saw it even there and I was like, this is a joke. Like every like student cadet meeting, I don't even remember what we called them at Thayer Hall, and we had
yeah,
to do a lot. They would do Robert Frost's I don't remember the exact name of the poem, Road Less Traveled, right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
And the funny thing is they don't even know what that poem's about because it's not about a road less traveled. Like
yeah,
two paths diverged in a wood, but both were walked. It's actually like Gregory Orr writes about this. It's about backwards rationalization. It's
yeah.
about like looking backwards and going, "Oh, I
Oh, I
must have
should have done
taken
that. Yeah,
no, I must have taken the road less traveled. Look at
yeah,
me." And I'm like, I'm sitting there as, because I was even a writer and kind of like that in high school, going
yeah,
like, do any of these guys know what this poem actually means?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no, you're just using the thing you see, road less traveled, and they're
yeah,
pointing at 4,000 cadets or 1,000 cadets
yeah,
saying
yeah.
they took the road less traveled. And I was like, actually,
That's not
Edgar
what it
Allan
is.
Poe,
Yeah,
like if you want, even if you want to go there, I'm like, actually, Edgar Allan Poe and uh lead singer of Tool,
yeah. Maynard Keenan.
who he went to West
Yeah, I
Point and
know.
dropped
Yeah, he
out.
went to West Point. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Those guys dropped out and became stars or whatever. That is the
yeah,
road less traveled. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I'm sitting here with a
You,
thousand of you. How
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like how is this the road less traveled, guys? Like
yeah. That's right. Yeah,
we literally have a brigade on the road. Like I don't understand what
yeah,
you're
that's
trying
right.
to say
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
That's funny. Yeah. No, but it's true. You know what I mean? And they, but that's how they sell those kind of places to the people that are in them. You know, it's like,
and the people that are
yeah,
in them buy the Kool-Aid
they buy
over
it, they drink it,
time.
they drink
And
it.
when they get enough honors, even if, I mean, it's politics 101, bro.
Yeah.
Like, even
Hmm.
if they come in with very high, like, self-esteem and morals and everything, and have their own way of looking at the world, like, with enough gifts, enough coaxing, enough
Yeah.
breakdowns and build-ups, like,
You're gonna
I've
be
met
just like everybody else.
you and it's true, man. They call them rig knockers, and it's hilarious because you see, but like I'm also jealous because a very large amount of them have an ego that I just don't have anymore because I've
Yeah.
been slapped around too much. And I'm like, man, but I also have friends that have died and had like cancer and
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
witnessed terrifying
Horrible
things.
shit. Yeah. Yeah.
I was class of 2005. We were going to
Yeah.
Afghanistan
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
liked it or not.
Yeah. And
And I
because you dropped out, you didn't have to go and do any kind of time, right? Out in the field or
Yeah, I mean, I got an honorable discharge, luckily,
okay.
but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Because
yeah, but it's
I had a
actually,
couple buddies I had a buddy named Robert actually, same name as me, and he went over there and he did like 3 tours, and I remember his third tour, he came or his second tour he came back, and we talked for a little while, you know, whatever, and I knew I was close to his mom and shit, and then like next person I saw with his mom, and she was like, yeah, he got blown up like in an IED, like dead
yeah,
and everything. And he was like the happiest, nicest human being you could ever meet. And I was like, fuck, like, you know, but I graduated high school in '03. So right when that happened, like a lot of my buddies were like, oh, I'm joining the army. I'm joining it. We need to fucking get them back for 9/11, all this stuff. Even though we're here in San Diego in California, you have nobody had any kind of connections to that shit. And I saw kind of like a propaganda thing going on, not just with that, but like and they kind of, it was funny, they touched on it a little bit in that American Sniper movie, you know, the one about what's his name, that fucking American Sniper guy, and Chris, I can't remember his name, but anyway, he in the movie, like he's literally standing in like a doorway and he's looking at a TV that 9/11's happening, like as it's, you know, and he goes, we need to get those motherfuckers, and it's like it's the most like ridiculous scene in a film, but that's really how some of those people were. Like they like looked at that and they're like, we need to go over there and kill them all, kind of thing. And I was like,
I was at the academy, dude. That's exactly what it was.
yeah,
And they ride that stuff because
they
that's how
ride
they
it.
get recruits.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And
You
they
know,
find
and
the
I
sometimes they find the lowest of the low to do it though. And but you're not that guy, which is probably why you dropped out, right? Probably why you never saw any action is because you're not one of those lower the low people. But some of the people that went over there, not lower the low, I mean as like far as like, as a human being. I mean just like they're easily indoctrinated, kind of lower the low. You can't be indoctrinated that easily, is what I'm saying.
I guess I couldn't, but I
Yeah.
also wish dude, in some regards, I wish I could have because, like, at the end of the day, like, I hate my mind sometimes, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah.
so,
What was that? There was a quote somewhere I read where it was like I'm butchering the shit out of it just saying it, but it's like people who know too much feel too much or something like that. And it's true. It's like if you know a shit ton of things and you are not easily indoctrinated, then when you see shit like on the news or in real life or with people around you, you become like you just are in pain for like 24/7 because of that.
hmm
And it
yeah.
sucks. And that's why people use, that's why people drink. And some of the most intelligent people I've ever known in my life have been the biggest alcoholics, the biggest drug addicts. But that's why, is because they're so fucking smart and they understand everything. And they're like, well, because I understand everything, I know that the only escape is this liquor or this heroin or this cocaine. Like it's the only way to get away from everything around me, kind of thing. And again, and in that way, I can kind of relate, but at the same time, like you're just slowly committing suicide. That's all you're doing when you do any of that shit. It's just a slow suicide. Instead of helping the people around you, I feel like, helping people around you, I guess, is a better use of your intelligence, even if you're in pain constantly.
Yeah, no, and I've realized that. And when I got sober, it took me a while, but I started really doing that,
Yeah.
feeding the homeless. And
Yeah, it's good. No, it's great. Yeah,
it's like, but you're right, dude. Like, I don't know if I'm intelligent or not, right?
yeah. You are, man.
Some
No, you are.
people say I am, but like at the end of the day, like I feel like I'm an idiot because
Really.
like
Why?
just because like, dude, look at me. You know, like I'm a mess. I
Who's
feel like
not
if
who's
I
not a mess? Who's not a
yeah,
mess? I'm a fucking mess. Like everyone's
yeah.
a mess. If you're not a mess, you're not living your life properly. I feel like if you're
Uh
just like, what I mean, if you've got all your shit together, then that means that something went wrong somewhere. I feel like. Anyway, because people that are a mess are the ones that have the most interesting stories, right? You have interesting stories. You've sailed, what'd you say, from Japan to Alaska or some shit? Like,
yeah, dude.
are you kidding me right now? Like, how many people could say they've done that? How many people could say they've done that? How
No,
many?
not many.
Yeah, not many.
Many,
So look
man.
at that. But your life's a mess. Like, come on now. Come on now.
It's true though, bro. Like, like it's funny, dude. I get it, but like at the end of the day, sometimes you go, wow, I wish I had a bit more normal of a nervous
Oh
system,
no,
a
I
bit
get it.
more
No, yeah, I get that. I get that every day. I talk to again. I go to therapy. Do you go to therapy too?
too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I go to therapy, and when I'm talking to my therapist, sometimes I say, I hate using this word, but I wish that I felt normal sometimes. I'll say that I felt normal, like, but I don't even know what the fuck normal is or what it means or
In this
anything.
society, like
Yeah,
it's like this much of a scale that like goes out
yeah.
here, right?
Exactly. It's a spectrum.
And
It's a
also
spectrum.
it's kind of a myth, right? Gabor
It is.
Mate writes about this. But like
Okay.
at the end of the day, yeah, he's got a book called Myth and Normal, which is great.
Is that the guy? That's that guy that's like that talks really soothingly, right? About
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I love that
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, I've seen all,
Trauma.
yeah, trauma and stuff. Yeah, he's like,
And he's
your
like,
father
where
was this person. Yeah, yeah, that guy.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and where are you feeling it in your body
yeah.
and
That's
how
right. Yeah,
old
yeah,
you
that
are?
guy. Yeah, yeah. He's great, man. Yeah, no, I've
Yeah,
like
dude.
saw his the TikToks with him in it, and I get all teary eyed and shit because he's great, man. Like, you know, he's a good dude. But no, do you so going back to the whole after getting out of West Point and then deciding to write, what do you where does the because I know where when I write where that comes from. I try to not write about myself or any kind of my feelings whatsoever. That's what I try to do. I find that when I read back some of the shit I write, I see little glimpses of myself in the writing. But for the longest time, I was like, I'm not going to write about me. I'm not going to do this. Not going to do that. And I actually have a nonfiction piece that I wrote about when my mother, she had AIDS, and I used to, when I was 6 years old, she made me in charge of her medicine, like to like count out her pills and shit. And this was right as the Los Angeles riots were happening. So in the nonfiction piece that I wrote, I talk about like I'm 6 years old, I'm counting my mother's pills, and there's fire like blazing down the street, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And but that's the first time I've ever written anything like autobiographical really about myself. And I got nominated for the pushcart for that just recently,
Good.
which is good. No, which is cool. But like, and it's made me kind of think like maybe I do need to write more about that because most of my shit like is like pure fiction. I was like, I wanted to go in the MFA program just to do fiction and that's it. Like, I didn't want to do poetry because I knew with poetry I'd have to write about myself at some point. Fiction, I was like, I could just do like the most like Stephen King type shit, even though Stephen King writes about himself all the time. It's just hidden in his characters. What did you get you got your MFA in did you get it in fiction or in poetry? Was it
Fiction,
fiction? Yeah,
fiction.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. And what would when you were writing, where was that cut? Did you use some of your internal shit and stuff to write those stories that you wrote?
So, yeah, no, I started writing in high school
Mhm.
or before high school, and most of it was like poetry, punk song lyrics, and
Who's
like,
your favorite punk band?
God, man, probably no effects,
Oh, no
but
effects is cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
like Fear.
oh,
Fear's my
nice.
favorite dude. I love
I
Fear.
stopped listening to punk,
Did
and
you?
maybe I should get back
And
into
now
it
you
because
listen to yacht rock, right? Because you're a sailor. No, no.
no,
I'm just
no, at
fucking
the
with you.
moment, dude, I'm listening to like a lot of jungle and tribal music
Oh,
just
really?
because
Are you?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all my nervous system can
Yeah,
take,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
I was big into like a lot of like Western, country
yeah.
Western,
Okay.
singer-songwriter stuff, like Lord Huron and Ian
Okay.
No for the longest time. And for some reason, like like everything just cut, dude, last year. Like it's been such a weird cleave where
Yeah.
like my whole personality shifted. And
Did you told me before the podcast, and I guess we'll talk about it a little bit now. You said that you did ayahuasca. You did the ayahuasca thing, right?
I
Did
did
that
Bufo. Yeah,
Yeah, did
yeah.
that lead into you liking this different music, or is that before you did the ayahuasca?
No, it's definitely after because
Really?
like,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
yeah,
Yeah. Because I noticed that sometimes like people that do a lot of Molly and ecstasy, they love EDM after that. Like they do a lot of
yeah,
that shit. They love that. And I've done that stuff too, but I've always been like a rock guy. I've got my holy trinity of Guns N' Roses and Jane's Addiction and Nine Inch Nails tattooed on me.
nice.
Those are my
Yeah.
favorite bands of all time. And I've done all that shit and I've done everything. And those are the three bands I always go back to. But like, I found myself getting like after I did ecstasy, I guess for the third, fourth time, whatever, I started getting more into like house music. And I was like, oh yeah, house music's great. But I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to this for? Like, I've never been into this stuff before. And it felt like it was because I did those drugs that I started liking that music.
I mean, I think it is, dude. And I
Yeah.
think I just know that like a lot of the older music that I listen to, a lot of music actually reflects your subconscious, right?
That's true.
So
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was an incredibly angry, depressed teenager that showed that to the outside world in the form of, kind of pretending to be a punk
Yeah.
skater and also like joking and being like a crazy kid, right? But on the
Yeah.
inner world, like all of my writing since I remember was about hating life, not wanting to live, right?
Yeah.
Like and love and like
Uh-huh.
and I was utilizing a lot of like very teenage imagery like roses and guns and
Yeah, 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 yeah,
skulls.
yeah, yeah.
But like that transformed, and the latest iteration was like my yachting career, and that
Okay.
was, yeah, I listened actually to a lot of yacht rock, but
Did you? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I also had these playlists that I generated that people just loved, and it was a
yeah.
lot of like Lord Huron, and
Okay.
it's it's much easier. And I listened to that for like 5, 10 years more and more. But the funny thing is now I listen to a lot of that music and it still is about like depressing shit,
Yeah.
right? And I can't take a lot of depressing stuff right now because I'm
Yeah.
already like at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so like just last year I started listening to gospel music a little bit
Okay. All
and
right. All
it
right.
was like why? And I was like, because at least
Yeah,
it
they
doesn't.
have it's positive. It's a positive thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get it. And I would like to think that some of the music I listen to is positive, but it isn't. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it is like even these guys, like I said, a lot of what they write about is or drugs and alcohol and you
Yeah.
know, being in active addiction basically. I mean,
Yeah.
all of their songs are about active addiction either to, you know, women, drugs or alcohol, you know, or just being a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like there's an addiction to that too. There's people that are addicted to being an asshole. But the only gospel I've really heard was like what's his face? God, I don't even remember his name. Uh he got famous doing like pop gospel. Uh Keith something. Is it
No, I don't know.
I don't know either. But anyway, a lot of it, like, yeah, he talks about like, you know, how much like God has given him and things like that. It's all like positive, like type stuff. And I don't know if I don't know where that is in rock music other than it's funny, I actually just saw TikTok today and I saw him live was Andrew WK. Do you remember that guy? Andrew WK. He was like this. He did like he was kind of like a party rock type guy. He did like, you know, let's start partying, let's start. That was like a lot of it
Okay.
was like chanting and stuff. But he was like, somebody commented on the TikTok and they said this guy is like the most chaotic positivity I've ever heard. And I thought that's true. That's what he was. And I met him. He was at a I saw him live and like nobody knew who he was. I didn't even know who he was either. And he played and then he got off stage and I went up to him and I said, "Hey man, that was amazing." Cause it was fun, you know, it filled me full of like positive energy. And he's like, "Come here." And he like grabbed my arm and pulled me over to like the tent where he was going to sign things. And he pulled me in front of all these people. There were all these people waiting to get things signed. And he's like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Robert." And he like signs one of his CDs. He's like, "Here you go, Robert." And he like hands it to me. And he was just the coolest fucking guy in the world. And I thought, man, like we need more of that in like
Yeah.
rock music and in rap and in everything like we did in music in general because yeah you're right like even the country western stuff that you're talking about I mean a lot of that's like oh my girl left me and my truck's broken down and my dog died and shit
Or
like it's
yeah, I mean, I don't often listen to that rote stuff. Like I
yeah
don't
yeah yeah
often, but
but
like
I mean even the
mine,
older stuff is that way you know what I mean
yeah,
like yeah you know,
yeah,
Johnny Cash I mean he made his whole career
yeah,
off of like you know my woman's not around and I'm sad and shit like that's
yeah,
you
yeah.
know
No, and oh, I hurt myself today.
that's
Like
right and he's a yeah he's a drug addict
doing
too
nins,
yeah he was yeah yeah
and and it's funny. Like I do love that music, but like right now, I'm like, mm-mm,
yeah.
no,
And
like.
do you find positivity in the in the electronic stuff in the jungle and stuff like that? Do you
Well,
find
that's what I
yeah.
was. Well, that's more healing, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
healing.
just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and then it lets me flow a little bit more. And then, like just the other day, or not the other day, like 2 weeks ago, I went running and put on Yanni because I liked it as a little
Oh
kid,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I was made fun of, and I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
screw it, let's listen to this. And I had a great run, and I was like, yeah, we need to remember this.
Yeah.
Um,
You know who else is great is Enya. You ever listen to Enya?
yeah,
I love
yeah.
Enya, dude. Like she if she's listening right now at any point in my life, we
Hey,
love
and
Enya.
yeah,
Yeah, hey Enya, we love you. And she lives in a
no,
castle. She's pretty cool.
yeah. Well,
I mean, she deserves it. She made some pretty bitchin' songs. But yeah,
yeah,
yeah, no, that Yanni's cool and John Tesh. You remember John Tesh? He did a lot of
yeah,
yeah. John Tesh
yeah,
is great. Yeah, a lot of like he did the basketball theme. You know, da 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 da.
yeah.
He wrote that. That's crazy. But no, yeah. So music can, I guess, change your mood. But that's like, I mean, that's elementary type shit. But I guess
It is,
the
but we get
yeah,
stuck in it, dude. And
we
like the
do.
thing
We
is the
do.
last year has been so rough on my nervous system. Like I had to change it. Like I was like, I can't listen to this anymore.
Yeah.
And it actually sucks, dude. Like I
Yeah.
loved that music, but
No, of
like
course. Yeah.
until I get into a better headspace, like I can't identify with those emotions that much because it just brings me down too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
No,
what
I
I
get
mean?
it. I get it, man. I get it.
Mm.
So, I guess to cap off this amazing podcast we just recorded, which I think was pretty good. I don't know. How do you think it went?
Sure, dude. Like I loved it,
I
man. I
think it went
just love
great. Like having a
Josh.
conversation, man. Like and like talking about music and
It's
West Point and
all interconnected.
yeah, we're all in. That's right. The ABC conjecture. Let's go back to that. No, yeah. I'm gonna be recording my next episode soon, and you're episode 3, so you're number 3, which is a good number.
Cool.
That's a good number. The Trinity, right? Okay, 3 is a good number. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping to have you back on again at another time to talk
Yeah, I
about a
would love to
different theory.
chat,
Because
dude.
yeah, no, because I love talking with you, and you're a good dude. Even if you don't believe it right now, you are a good human being,
Oh, I
and
think honestly, Robert, I think I'm
yeah,
a great human being.
yeah,
I
you are.
just
No,
think
you are.
I'm
Yeah.
a near non-functional right now,
Yeah,
which
well,
sucks, dude.
the fact
Like,
that you're able to have a conversation and you're able to open your computer and talk to somebody through the Zoom and interconnect all these things like we did today, um, you've got more of your shit together than you think you do. I feel like.
I
Okay.
think so too, but my brain's not convinced.
No,
Anyway,
well,
I want to share this
oh yeah,
book with
please
you
do it. Do it right now.
because if we were going to talk about this is a beginner's guide to constructing the universe, and it's about the geometry and the mathematical archetypes of nature. And it starts with the monad, like the single dot,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
goes into two, and like how the single dot represents God, and how the Greeks used it versus the Romans. And
Is that
because of the
Gnostic? Is that Gnosticism? Is that part of
AV,
that?
kind of Pythagorean, like like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is a geometry guy that did this, but like it's
Okay.
the archetypes of nature, art, and science, and it's showing how math is everywhere in a lot
Yeah.
of respects, but also like the deism slash like how humans have. And it just was funny because when you said your interpretation of the ABC conjecture, I was like, I have a book that's all about this stuff
Yeah,
and how it's
nice.
all interconnected. And
Yeah.
I was like, it's really cool, and it actually teaches you how to do stuff, and it's got like
Okay,
all
I'll tell
these
you what. I'll
different,
tell you what. Before we go,
yeah.
tell me your favorite thing in that book right now. Tell me about your favorite thing. And no, don't worry, you
Oh
don't have a time limit. Tell
gosh,
me. Tell me.
um, dude, that's a tough one, man.
It- First thing that
Um,
pops in your head that you think is cool.
um, dude, I honestly can't tell you. A lot of the stuff I love in this book is like just how unique numbers are, and like it's talking about how one represents like a single point.
Yeah.
You have two, which represents balance, but like showing how it's in nature everywhere,
Yeah.
and even in the way they designed.
The CBS logo. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
And
Yeah, yeah.
and it's like it's
MasterCard.
perfectly natural in these things, and he breaks it all down and shows how like
And who's that book
geometric.
by?
Um, this is Michael S. Schneider.
Is he alive?
I have no idea. I picked this up at a thrift store and just start reading like I do with
Okay,
most of my books.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna say it on this podcast right now. I'm going to see if he's alive, and if he is alive, I'm going to invite him on here, and then I'm going to invite you on here, and then we're all going to have a discussion about that book. How's that sound? That
Pretty
sound like
cool.
fun?
Yeah,
That
that's
sounds like
awesome,
fun, right?
dude.
Yeah, okay.
I
I'm gonna try to
also,
do
I
that.
mean,
I'm gonna try to do
Robert, I
that.
just want to let you know, I
Yeah.
really respect you for starting this. I wanted to start something, and like I always get so afraid.
No,
And just
man.
watching you go boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
and do it and not caring.
No, man.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
oh, I love it, man. I love it.
I love you, man.
Oh,
You're a
thank
good
you.
dude. You're a good dude. And we will
Thank
talk
you.
again, I promise. All right.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Let's stop this recording.